everybody. Today we're getting back to Foundation, and I'm pretty sure we will very quickly finish this scenario. And then I think we're just going to start a new one, because I'm enjoying the game, and I'd like to see all of the other various elements that I've not missed out on, but could continue to expand my knowledge of. So we'll see how it goes. It's loading up right now. By the way, did you see our new starting screen? I'm real excited about it. I think it's really neat. Got some cool music, got some cool art. I'm just overall thrilled about it, so. Okay, here we go. Oh, wrong button, hold on. Here we are. Okay, we are going to continue this scenario. Alright, almost there. Perfect. Okay. So, where we last left off, we had built this beautiful city belfry with just a ton of additions here to help add on to my labor splendor. The last thing I need to complete this scenario is to get that labor splendor to 500. We're already at 452. So, I just gotta make some more pretty stuff around these big fancy labor type buildings. Things like the city market or the manor house or the tavern. Or the belfry some more, but I feel like it already kind of looks a little bit tacky with all the stuff I've added, so maybe we'll try some other stuff. Alright. Yes. I like that. Thank you, Say. I do like name suggestions for the new town. That'll be good. Okay. Let's see here. I've got 50 labor influence, so I'm going to spend that to get smithing taxes, because I got quite a few smithies going on. Not like it's really necessary at this point, since we're going to be done soon, but... okay, let's try to make this tax office that's just a bare tower a little bit nicer looking. Put a little weather vane on top. We could put some wall banners on this one. And then a large one in the center. Ooh, that fits quite nicely over that little... There's gables? Eaves? I don't know what that's called. And then let's give them a nice little basin here. And let's apply that. That's going to add 16. And we just had a horseman run up with a deal. Let's see. Party of travelers heard your breweries are low on hops. How did you know? Only got 14. They have a monastery not too far away that could trade for my excess of berries. I need 300, and I'm really currently only handling the amount of berries that I have on hand to supply to my people, so I'm just gonna turn it down. Okay, so that's one building somewhat decorated. Let's take this public lounge over here and make it a little bit more decorative as well. Let's give him a little graceful bench across the way. Man, those sheep are loud when you're zoomed in right next to them. You know what? I know we already have a sheep one on the other side of town, but this is right next to the sheep farm. We gotta. And we'll turn it that way to look towards them so that they can observe themselves. And this one takes a sculpture, which is going to require one of my specialized builders to work on that back in their own builder's hut. That'll give us an extra 13. Pretty sure that the church is part of Oh no, it's not part of the monastery. Where's church? Is that just something you can build from the beginning? It might be. I mean, I guess that makes sense, if only because that's one of the first basic needs that people need. So, I don't know that it counts. I think it probably adds clergy splendor rather than labor splendor. We can find out, though. Yep, it's a little blue star, so we won't do a church decoration, but maybe we can make our treasury look a little bit nicer, and I imagine there's enough stuff to add that that's going to do it for us. So, first, let's go ahead and throw in an elegant fountain nearby. And a little twin lantern post. A wall lantern? I don't know that I've seen those before. Neat. Can I even see it? Oh, it went, I see, down there. Okay. Well, let's light this side of there. Just adds one. As much as I want to make that more kind of ubiquitous and spread around everywhere, it's going to take a lot of work and only counts as one. So we're just going to go with a towering pruned hedge over here by this door. Counts as 3 all by itself. And then let's give people a graceful bench over on this side. And what else? An elegant stone arch. Ooh, you can make it tall. That's kind of fun. Okay, that gives me all sorts of options to play around with in the next playthrough. Oh, but making it taller makes it more expensive. Oh, maybe it doesn't. Oh, just a little bit. It's always hard to tell for me as far as the, when it's in red, so I can't afford it, to see exactly what the cost says. So it says 500-ish here, and then I barely see the swap to 630, I think that says. Maybe that says something about my eyesight, but I don't think so. I think it's just that shade is difficult to see. Or maybe I have some amount of color blindness, who knows. Okay, so now I just have to wait until I have that money on hand for me to be able to submit that. So while I'm waiting for that, I'm just curious as to what's going on over here. That's right, I expanded this granary and then didn't put anything in it. What's food items that we have a lot of on hand? The answer is pretty much nothing. I guess we could do some more berry brew. Well, berries too, I guess. And space for hops just in case we were to eventually expand to get more. And you know what? Just to push us to it... Oh, first I guess I have to tax these. Oh, that's interesting. On top of getting money for each of these things, you also start to get a tax impact on your labor influence. I guess that means maybe monthly you lose that much influence. So that's good to know for future playthroughs. I think it's worth it to lose an extra 5 for the mining sites, but not for smiths since I'm only getting 2. Now that said, does that mean I only get 29 coins? In that case, I don't know if it's worth it. But it doesn't really tell me how much money you get from tax from each of these areas. So I guess we could see... Oh yeah, it doesn't tell me here. I don't know. Interesting. But I do currently have 3,500 just stored in my tax buildings. Okay. Cool. Well, I guess I won't have to levy the tax because I just got enough in store. So now we just got to wait for all these to be built and we'll be done, I think. I didn't keep super close attention to how much I added in total, but this one's done. So now we're at 482. This one is... I didn't add anything there. I added 2 here. This one's not done yet. It still is just waiting on the sculpture. He's a serf. Is that the job that's preferred for him? Let me locate him real quick. Here's my guy. Okay. No, Master Builder is best suited for Citizen. So let's upgrade him at least to a Commoner. So he'll be a little bit more productive with his time once he starts working. He's taking a break, though. And then when that's done... Oh, when that's done... I forgot to check how much is just that single item. That's 8. Okay, so we'll get 8 more. That would put us at 490. So between that and the added whatever here, I guess I can't see exactly how much has been added to it. Because the total is 29, but that includes any ones that I've already added. So this actually might be it. We'll see once it gets completed. Just have to get one more tool. Where are you at? Oh, he's already working on it. Perfect. Okay, that's 487 for us. 495. And so the treasury upgrades are now done. As soon as we get the remaining 8 to get this sheep statue, we will be done with this one. Oh, that guy's just working on the road. I was trying to figure out why he was building this when we didn't have the sculpture yet, but I see. He's just one of the road pavers. Okay. Well, let's see what you're up to. Oh, good. He built it already. Now he's just bringing it over. Apparently the entire sheep sculpture fits in that tiny little crate. But this should be it, my friends. Done. We have completed this scenario. Never built a monastery, never built a castle. As you pass the city belfry, you can't help but feel proud. Over time, you have transformed the small serfdom into a thriving village of free folk. Well, there it is. And now the sheep have someone to worship. Cool. Well, the end. Tenor Town. That's pretty fun. If anybody else has any suggestions for names, feel free to let me know. But I feel like that's good as any, unless anybody has any other options. Okay. Well, with that done, we'll just go ahead and save it as is. And then we are going to go back to the main menu. Oh, I guess when I quit, I can save and quit just automatically, but there we are. Okay, we're going to do a new game. Oh, that's right, I can also randomize the location. I think last time I did fluvial. Or I just did randomized seed. Well, since we had a river last time, do I want a lot of hills to deal with? Well, it seems like the hilly would be a little bit easier to deal with than the, like, butte-like structures. Like, these ones seem a lot taller. And granted, this wasn't the exact same setup that I had before, but... Oh, didn't want to do that. Let's see, what if I randomize all of them and we see what we get? Coastal might be fun. Let's... Let's try this-ish, but then maybe change lakes. That seems like it might be good. A single island in the middle, if there's anything worth doing there. Otherwise, generally flat with a little bit of hill stuff. Oh, hey, Jenna, welcome back. All right. Yeah, I think let's try that. If we start it and we hate it, then we can always come back. But let's go with that. We're going to go with a classic as well, since I had enough of a hard time with it kind of getting started, and we're doing new stuff this time. I'm doing well. How about you? No mods. I think we'll keep the tutorial because it'll teach me to do new things this time. Good. Glad to hear it. We're playing some Foundation here. We're going to keep all the defaults, I think. Yeah, okay. Oh, cool. That's a specific option that you could turn off to get, like, you to run through your stone or your iron. I'm going to leave it as is. Now that I understand all of the functionalities, they make more sense, but I'm probably going to keep them the same as they are. Yeah. Okay, great. So, last time I did Prestigious Burg. This time, I think I'm going to go with the Prosperous Priory. Okay. Gonna have to go on the Monastery side, which is the whole thing. Don't build a castle. Oh, but in this one, we still are able to build everything from the previous one if we'd like to. There's no limit that way. Although, because we're doing a priory, we are keeping the village population below 75. And we can never promote them. They're all going to be serfs. Interesting. If I didn't do that one and did this instead, I have to have 50 combatants and a pretty long fortified wall, complete a military campaign, host the king, and kingdom splendor at 500 or more. You know what? We're going to try a prosperous priory and never have population above 75 this time. It'll be a different enough challenge that I'm excited. Okay. So let's first of all go with Tenor Town, since that was the vote before as far as what our village name is going to be. And my name... You know, that's a good question. At this point, I'm just kind of getting it all started out, which essentially just means, you know, when you have time, feel free to watch. And yeah, at this point, I'm just gaining followers until there's options to, like, possibly monetize the channel and then, like, show ads and stuff like that. But yeah, at this point, I'm just happy to have people watch, hang out, chill, chat around. I do my best to keep up with chat, so although you can ask, say, I definitely don't always keep a close eye on it as I want to, so If you send a chat and I don't look for a while, I'm so sorry. I just get so focused on this. But I do generally look back eventually. Alright, first of all, if we're going to do a priory, we're going to go monastery. Oh yeah, you definitely can. Feel free to share my Twitch channel with whoever you'd like. Hopefully they'll enjoy. If not, that's also okay. I'm just happy to get eyes on it. If people vibe with me, great. And if not, great. I want people to be happy. Okay, if we're going with a church-ish type vibe, I want something... I like bees, and the monastery does do bees, so I think let's do that. Now there's just a question of 1, 2, 3, or 4. I don't like the fact that the 2 is like asymmetrical. 3 is symmetrical, but I don't know that there's a pattern that really... Well, there are options. Don't worry, I'll change colors. I don't feel like these really go together particularly well. You know what? Let's stick with that. While they aren't like perfectly separated into each of the 3 sections, close enough. Okay, so primary emblem color, let's make them yellow. Secondary, let's make it black. That just kind of does the highlights. And then on the shield color itself, start with the primary one. Let's go with a purple. And yeah, I feel like that really helps the highlights of the bees pop. So we're going to go with that. And I think that's it. And starting over, I have to just be a pioneer until I gain a new title or something. And then my name, I think we're just going to randomize it again. I think I did that last time. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I just did my name. Lois. That made me laugh, so we're going with that. Alright, we're going to go. Alright, here we are. After a long journey throughout the realm, your people finally reach new lands. Your lands. Territories you can settle for reasons of your own. Your villagers await your command and are eager to offer advice about how to proceed should you require it. Alright, yep. Know that much about the tutorial. So it makes us do all of the movement real quick. Now, maybe I didn't want all of the tutorial, but that's okay. Okay. Forward. Left. Down. Right. Hey. Zoom. Angle. Yeah, choose our first territory. Okay, so we got options. Here we've got a lake. I don't think, well, that one does go quite a bit. Hold on. Buy a new territory. Okay. Oh, it won't let me start there. Okay, that's fine. So I guess I've got 3 options to start with. 4. Oh, my guess is certain territories, only certain ones have all of the materials you need to get started. So like this one's got some stone, some wood, access to water, although I don't see any fish in... Oh, yeah, there's some bubbling up right over here, I think. Okay. So, and berries. Where I wonder if, like, this one doesn't have all of that. Because this one doesn't have water, but I guess it has access to, like, stone and berries. I don't know. Who knows? But I think let's start with this. Great. We can build some stuff. A village center for all of our newly arriving church goers. I don't know. Priory workers to come and start their thing. I think we're going to center it over here since we want to expand over in this direction a little bit. You know, I didn't actually check where the nearby mining stuff might be, but you know what? I guess that's a good point. Maybe we work off towards that water instead so that we're closer to that. A villager wants to speak. Hello, new people. Okay. Just telling us how to start with workshops and everything. So most of that should be pretty easy to do. We've got 10 people. We're going to have a builder's workshop. And I think we're also going to kind of, well, let's put it over here near these other property lines. We'll assign our 3 builders there. And now we can build a lumber camp. Now, I do want to keep berries accessible, so I'm not going to cut down all the trees. Luckily, I'm going to get a forester assigned pretty quick, so that should be great. Let's go ahead and put it right there. Builders are all going to go build it, and I've got my woodcutters assigned. Going to speed that up just a little bit. Done. Okay, slow it back down. We got to paint our woodcutting space. Wrong button. That's the one. We're going to say you can cut down all of this area. And then I can get my forester camp. Speed that up a little bit. And then slow it down a little more. Perfect. Okay, we got a forester assigned. We are going to paint the reforestation area to cover all of the same spots. Mostly, I guess. Hold on. Let's keep our painting roughly within the lines. Okay. Done. Yep, and it's just telling me that I can make that specific building paint its own zone, which I've done. Now we got a gathering hut for berries. Let's keep that pretty central here as well. Let's actually go like right here. Because that way people can gather from those bushes or over there if there's ever a reason that that would be an issue. All right. It will be interesting to see how to make a little area of a maximum of 75 people rather than the over 500 that I had last time in the end. Okay, slowed it down too quick. A little bit more. Oh, it's because the builder stopped building. They took a break. All right. Everyone just hanging out here on their break time in the village center since I don't have the option to make them houses yet. Well, you know what? I'm going to slow it down, and while we're waiting, I'm going to start kind of planning out what I think I want as far as kind of general housing. If this is the village center, we got a thing going off that way, something off this way, a road off maybe towards there, and then eventually one off in this direction. And then I think I want housing to be pretty close to these workspaces, so maybe I'll make my residential space right here. Yeah, let's stick with that. And because I drew that line so thin where there weren't any trees, that shouldn't be an issue as far as where my woodcutters are going to be assigned, especially since it's further away than all of those trees. So, okay, foragers. We're going to start getting berries. And then is the next tutorial to make a marketplace or residential housing? We'll find out. So I've got 3, 6, 9, 10 people assigned, so I have nobody who is not working. Okay, this just has to do with making sure everyone's got their needs met, so we probably need to make a well. Okay, and housing. Great. So, slow it down. Gonna paint some residential space. Right here. And I guess maybe I should have checked desirability, but I think the only thing that affected it was wood cutting, and that wouldn't be an issue because it's way over there. So, let's start with this. See if that's enough to make sure that everybody's happy. I don't know if it will be, but we'll find out. And next we're going to get a well. Let's also keep that roughly center between work and home spaces. And then a stonecutter camp. Now, I don't have the workers for this, which I imagine is what's going to spur the influx of immigration. Okay, so that line went roughly down this way. Let's actually show our zoning areas. Put a stonecutter camp just a little bit further so that the undesirability does not possibly bleed into any housing eventually. And you know what? Let's get it right close to that stone space. So like right here. Done. Okay, and so far that's everything. Our current tutorial is for building the well, which is just missing stone, which is why we need the stone cutters. But we won't have stone cutters to do the work, so I got to, I think, unassign some people, or that's when we start getting our immigration. We're going to take one builder off. We're going to take one woodcutter off. And throw on 2 stone cutters. And then as soon as we have the 5 stone we need, the well will be done. Yeah, we're working on houses. I'm interested to know why they haven't started building yet. Is that not enough space for a house? I'm pretty sure it is. Well, regardless, we gotta wait for those workers to be off break and start working there. Gangalando. What a name. Okay. Oh boy, somebody took the one stone. Great job. Come back for 2 more. And we just need 2 more after that. Ugh. Of course, they came back before the final one was done, so they're going to have to make 1 more trip of it. But that's okay. There it is. Now the well's going to be built. And currently, there's our progression menu. We got our map here. Okay, we're going to slow things down now that the well is done. Multi-part buildings. Some buildings, like the market, have multiple that can be customized. Okay. So now I can actually build the marketplace for people to get their food and stuff at. Before I do, though, I was just going to look at this overhead map. Cool. So this is the land that we've kind of got here-ish. We're going to expand over here to do mining eventually. I guess there's also an option over here, but this is definitely the closer... Well, they're probably about the same, to be honest. That's all right. Cool. Then we've got lakes on either side. Okay. So back to this. Market. Gonna put the food stall right here near the center, which is going to be near housing and most of the other stuff. And then we can add a market tent to it for... That takes 5 cloth. Okay. What does it add? Upkeep increases attached building part capacity by 20. Meaning this can only hold, I think, 10 of whatever resource you're selling, but if you add on the market tent, it then has 30. Now that I know what to look out for when I'm building stuff, it makes a lot more sense. Okay. Speed that up a little bit. Don't have anywhere for your logs to go, my guys. You know, I don't know how this happened, but that's sure fascinating. Because I'm pretty sure that the tree was not there when I built the gathering hut. Oh, and they're full of berries too. Okay. But I didn't realize that people could plant trees inside of buildings. Fair enough. No wonder it's impossible to find the buildings in forests. Okay. Done. I don't have anybody to work here, so I gotta take someone away. Let's go with one from the lumber camp. And you're gonna sell berries, because that's the only thing I have to help people meet their needs. Because everybody needs water, which we've got the well. Everybody needs a rustic food, which is berries or fish or vegetables. And I think I'll be able to do vegetables this time because I have a monastery. And everybody needs a house. They also have additional needs that only become necessary when promoting a villager. Basically, like, they won't be upset if they don't have these, but these will make them even more happy, and they will be necessary if anybody gets promoted to become a commoner. But luckily, in this scenario, we do not do that, I think. I'll have to wait until we get access to the royal book to be able to see exactly what our goals are again, but that's okay. Okay, and then it talks about editing buildings. You can move it at any time. It costs very little to do so, but at that point you can add on to your total marketplace to sell other types of materials, which right now I don't have anything else to sell, so I'm not going to worry about it. So now I just have to wait until the happiness of my villagers is 75. Currently it's at 25. But they should be automatically building houses, so maybe this is not a big enough space for residential. Well, since we already have this path going out that way, I think we're going to take this line here and expand to meet with the road over here. Okay. Just like that. Okay, great. And now that is one house. Oh man, okay. Gonna need quite a bit more residential space then. I guess my sense of scale was messed up based on the previous one being as big as it was. I also think that the size of my thing that I painted was a different size than what I was doing before. Because I think last time, for the most part, I pretty much stayed with the default size of the cursor, but in this one I changed it up a lot. So let's go ahead and expand even further, but I do want to avoid the undesirable housing, so we're going to take off the zone look. We're going to look at undesirable. Okay. And we're going to go over this way. Yeah, okay. I'm going to see if I can keep those berry bushes there, since that's where these guys like to work. And that's got to be enough houses, right? We'll find out. Is it really only going to be 3? 2 residents, 4 residents, 6 residents. I've got 10 in total. So I'm going to need 2 more houses. Oh wait, there's one in here. Okay. Lazy Town. I like that too. I feel like I did that for Animal Crossing once, and if I didn't, then somebody did in my house. Okay. 2, 4, 6, 8. Are there any other ones hiding in here that I can't find? No, I think those are both. Okay, so we need one more house to meet with our current needs. So back to residential. There we go. Man, they take up so much space when they're not medium and high density. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. You did it for Animal Crossing every time. Fair enough. Okay, now we just have to speed up till these houses are done, and then everybody will have their housing needs met, which will boost our happiness quite a bit. Is there anything else to build? I guess it can't hurt to have another well just in case. This one's here. These houses go all the way out there. They have to come to the marketplace. Well, it can't hurt to have one right in here. So they can access it from their homes or from their workplace over there, and it also makes it closer to that workplace. So, do I put it in someone's yard? Does that feel disrespectful? Doesn't matter. They're going to have to deal with it. Well, okay. It's a little bit late now. And Tenor Town's fine. Okay, we get immigration as soon as we hit happiness of 75. Out of curiosity, checking out in here. Okay, list of instruction or of controls of video, audio, and general stuff. Yeah, okay. Just seeing what's all there now that I kind of know how this game functions. Okay, that one's done. And now just this final house and this well. And all will be well. Yeah, Tenor Town's fine. I like it. %. And this well's done. Done. We're a village. We don't have the happiness of 75 yet, but at least everyone has a house now. And now I can be a lord and a lady. A lordie, as they say. So in order to do that, I think I need access to the royal book or whatever it's called. But also it doesn't change anything. It's literally just the title on the one page of the thing. So once I get the book, we'll see if I remember. Yeah, alliteration's good. Hence my stream name, you know? A ladord. Correct. A ladord, if you will. I guess it would be ladord. I should pronounce that correctly. Okay, so happiness is at 70. Just need a little bit more. You two are the last ones, and I'm guessing you're the ones who are in that new house, which means you just haven't been there yet to achieve that last thing in your happiness. There it is. There's one, and then the other one just needs to make it to the house. Because we're at 73. Come on. Come on. Come on. There we go. Alright. So, profiting from trade. So I'm wondering now if I don't need the tutorials for the next one at least, because there's a lot of it starting out, where I think you still get maybe prompts for different like quests, even if you don't have tutorials on. I guess we'll find out. But yeah, it's just hoping for the very specific, like, in order to progress in these new tiers, maybe it would be useful to have these messages, but I don't think I need the very basic ones. Okay, so another trade route. We need one with Northbury, our closest neighbor, to sell and profit. Sell resources for profit and obtain items that cannot be produced locally. They need planks, so let's start with those. So, I need to unlock some buildings in the progression menu. Or I have the option to, essentially. But they already gave me a free building to work with, so which is the sawmill to make planks, which is what's going to be needed for trading. We're going to keep that undesirable neighborhood over here. And we'll just put it like here, I suppose. And then just for the sake of looking a little nice, let's... Ooh, tree in the way. the wide space is going to be open to the loggers so that they can just bring them in. Again, that doesn't really have any bearing on the actual gameplay, but I feel like it makes sense from a building standpoint. And then we got a couple immigrants to be added to our workforce. Next one's coming in 4 days, so let's just go ahead and assign some out. Of course, currently our stone production, if I assign another person, that's not going to do anything, so I'll wait on that. But now that we're going to have sawmills, the logs are going to constantly be a source of that working, so we'll assign both our people to the lumber camp. And then by the time the sawmill's done, I imagine is when we'll have our migrants here, and we'll assign them to that. Okay. Oh, and we have more people here, which means I probably need to make more housing space. Because I can't make these into medium density until we have light fortification and patrol coverage, which I don't even know if that's even going to be an option in this one, so we'll keep our low density, I guess, for now. Okay, sawmill's done. I just need to wait for people coming, which they should be on their way right now. From over there, okay. They're making their way across. So while I am going to slow down game, we're going to expand residential space. I suppose we'll just have to go all the way out here. Oh, and before I get too close, let me double check on desirability. Yep, okay, we're still good there. Although, I'm now realizing that we're never going to have to upgrade these houses as far as quality, because I can't promote anybody in this scenario, so I don't ever need to worry about them being happy in the dingiest, lowest quality housing. Because you would beautify it and then have commoners in order to make it medium quality, but that's not a thing. And it has to be in a desirable neighborhood to be medium quality. Oh, beautiful. Yeah. Yeah. That's fair. I think that is a fair characterization. Let's just stick them in low quality housing because they're not going to care, because they're not going to be upper class citizens. Rough. Okay, so eventually we're going to be trading these planks, but as soon as my 3 carpenters get started to work on this, they're going to start taking logs from here, just the plain old wood, and then spend their time here turning it into planks. So maybe I shouldn't have expanded housing all the way out here. I could have instead... You know what? I still could. They haven't even brought materials there yet, so I'm not going to lose anything by erasing it. Rather than expanding all the way outward, because I don't want a sprawling area like I did last time. We are going to allow it to surround our undesirable type buildings if needed. And then hopefully that way we'll be able to keep it a little bit more condensed. Now I still want to keep the village center available for stuff, but We'll see. I might have to expand even more. And then hopefully sooner rather than later, I'm going to get the option to buy more territory. And we'll expand off in that direction to keep this as kind of the village center space. And in the meantime, let's go ahead and get rid of that for now. Well, I mean, I guess it can't hurt to keep as a general idea of I still want to keep hopefully a road kind of going off in that direction. Okay. Oh. It would help if I actually read the whole thing. I did the thing for planks, but as part of progression, I also need to do... Oh, that's right. It wouldn't let me before. That's fine. We're going to do storage. And these, as part of the common path, just cost coins in order to unlock. That's right, because that thing was over in the way. Go away. I will build them in a second. I just want to see what the other options are. Come on. Oh, okay. Well, that's fine. Okay, we're going to do the warehouse because that's where we're going to assign our planks to. We do have residential spreading all the way over into this area. But I do want my storage to be relatively close to the center. So let's go ahead and put this here. Keep space for that road. I'm going to build that. Then we're going to go back to the residential painter. And give that space there. You're building it anyway? Why? Whatever. Just this once. Does that mean it's not fully in a residentially painted area? Okay, yeah, all the fence has to be. Got it. Okay, but none of the rest of that is suitable to put houses? Or maybe we didn't get enough people to have to build more. We got a total of 16, which means we need 8 houses in total. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so looks like they expanded over to this way first. And then maybe at that point they'll expand over in this direction. That's great. Okay, so we're building a storehouse. Warehouse. Right here. For our final person who is unemployed, they're going to be a transporter. And let's go back to progression. Let's build village fences. And let's see if that can't... Well, first, let's go ahead and go with a granary as well. Because I want to be able to start storing berries so that my gathering hut isn't just sitting full. I want to be prepared to take care of it first. We're going to get this one pretty close. Wait, that's the wrong side. Right? Or is this only accessible on this side? Apparently it is, so we'll have it be right there. And then we're going to take that residential painter and scoot it back a little bit further on this side. Speed up the game a little bit. Warehouse is almost done, and then I'll be able to assign 4 different resources, or 4 of the same. We're going to put stone so that our stone workers can keep going. We're going to do planks so that we can then do trade. Yep, okay, there's the royal book. We'll be able to look at it here in a minute. Get my 2 new immigrants. Let's do tools, because I imagine we're going to have to start trading for them sooner rather than later. And let's go with another stone. Just because currently the only place stone can be stored is at my stone cutter, which only holds 50. Where planks, we can hold 50 here, and 20 logs, and then another 50 logs here. So I think that makes the most sense. We're gonna assign another transporter here, and one here at the granary. Speed that up some more. Somehow they ended up with more wood than they need for this building, which I think is kind of interesting. Don't know why that happens, but maybe the builder grabbed too many and then just dropped them all off at once. I'm curious to know if once the building is done, that means there's extra, or if it's just lost in the construction of it. Well, let's slow it down. While that's being worked on, I could build some fences. I'm curious to know if we build some fences, where can I help streamline people's walking paths so that they're not going to be causing issues? Because the issue is they'll just create paths wherever they want, which generally would be fine, but sometimes it's not the most optimal way of using the space as I might want them to do. So, like if they start creating cross paths in some of these places where I was planning to put other buildings, that could eventually be an issue. I just don't know if I know enough to really care how that happens at this point. Or I don't have a clear view of what exactly I'm going to be doing with each space yet. But by that point, maybe they'll have ruined it anyway by just doing what they want, so I guess for now, let's do this. And wall that off. See how that ends up for me. If I like it, maybe I'll start applying it to other places, but at the very least, it's pretty inconspicuous and out of the way for now. Alright, we got a good amount of all my materials over here. Now I got the royal book. Here it is. This is now a hamlet, and instead of a pioneer, I'm now a lady. Done. Lady Lois. Okay. Let's see. I need to unlock a trade route in the royal book. Trade routes. With Northbury, which costs 20 planks, so I'm not quite there. And then I will be able to sell my planks. Oh, it's not even going to let me try until I open a single trade route, so yeah. Nice. Okay. Almost there. Just waiting on the planks. And there's our little wall there. Looks nice. Now it's just a question of if I do expand over in this area, do I want them to only access it from this side, or do I have like a gate on this one, or make it so they've got a path that way? I imagine they'd probably cut through the warehouse to get where they want to go, so maybe we'll make a gate right there. While we're waiting on the planks, let's go ahead and do that. Oh, I don't want to build a new one. I want to edit this one. Throw on a stone fence gate. Oh, okay. I see. Stone fence right here to here to here. And then a gate right here in the middle. Done. Some more people. We got our granary done. Let's assign a couple there. And one here. And let's just assign a couple things of berries. Let's do 3 of berries for now. Because we can always expand these later if we want to. Okay, and we've got our planks. So, back to the royal book. Am I misreading this? That says 20. Pretty sure that says 20. Okay, there it is. Maybe I just didn't have them in storage, which is where they needed to be in order to do that. Cool. Alright, so now I've got the trade route. I can go into my resources and say I want to sell planks. I'm going to sell everything above a value of 10. So I can have 10 on hand to build any buildings. Which means that we're not going to sell any until we get a few more, but that's okay. And now I can make a manor house. To manage the village and enact new mandates, she suggests a manor house and a great hall. So I gotta buy a new territory first. And I think this is the direction I want to go to keep that as my center. Yeah, I'll go with that one and then maybe this one after that. We'll see. I think that sounds the best. Okay. So, there we are. And now it tells me how to build monuments, which I know how to do. So, I'm going to go in here. Oh, do I have to unlock it first? Back to progression menu. Okay, thanks for adding on things to my marketplace. Manor house is here. Hold on. Does this to me every time that notification stays way too long. I'm just making sure there's nothing new here. Okay, great. So, progression. Manor house. Cost 25 coins. I've got that. Could do a stonemason hut. Butchering. I think I want to get started on refined food. Although, do they even want refined food here? Since I'm not going to upgrade anybody past surf. There's the option to give them some refined food, but it's not necessary. But I can use that for trading if I want. There's just the question of, I can only have 75 people, so do I want to waste my workers on stuff that I don't personally need? I'm not sure. I'll wait on that. I will go ahead and build the manor house like it says to. And specifically, they want a great hall. We can also throw on a tax office. But we'll start with the great hall. And we'll keep it right here. Well, if I can build a tower as part of it, it does count as being lightly fortified for buildings around it. So I can make those houses closer to becoming medium density, which I think is going to be really important for eventually keeping my area pretty well condensed. So, what if we just do the tower? I don't think that the size of the Great Hall really needs anything. Oh, interesting. I guess I didn't look at that in the first place. You multiply this building's splendor value by 1.5 because it is the Great Hall. And it allows you to promote villagers, which we're not going to do in this scenario. Let's go with a major tower. And where can I center it to get the most houses? Probably out here. Let's do that. And then let's make it tall. Is that way too tall? It kind of is, but functionally that would be really nice to have. I think the cost is way too much for what I currently am doing, though, so unfortunately... Can I place it somewhere else to get more houses? Yeah, it's kind of out here in the middle of nowhere, but I think that's probably going to be the most efficient. Yeah, okay. Make it as small as I can without losing any of these houses. Oh, that is the smallest it can go. Cool. Make it a little bit taller because it looks a little goofy. Okay. And then we'll put a little door on it. And then it needs a place for visitors to locate. Or to... a visitor location for the visitors to be able to come. I don't think the large manor fits really well on the tower, so we'll just do a small manor door. I don't like it on that side, so we're going to have to scoot this a little bit. Rotate it a little bit. There we go. And visitors can come right here. Done. Now, even though they will be lightly fortified, I still will need patrol coverage in order to upgrade them to medium density, which we'll see if that's even an option in the scenario based on the fact that I'm limited to 75 people. If not, it's not the end of the world, but man, that would really help so that I don't have to build a new house for every 2 people that show up. Okay, so building a manor house. Assign tools to the warehouse, which we've already done because I knew that that would be the thing. And then we can allow tool purchase. Since I'm not currently making tools, I will run out of them eventually, and that will be a problem. So, going into tools, we're going to be able to buy, and let's keep it at the current inventory of 35. Now, let's see how expensive that's going to be. For each tool, it's 6 coins, and I'm not currently taxing anybody, so I'm going to run out of money real quick. But it did also mention that I have the option to make a tax office. So, we'll get to that. Don't want to do fishing yet because I don't yet have land that even has fishing available. Let's go ahead and start with a village edict because that's going to give me benefits and bonuses immediately. Decoration, farming, clothing, goods, tools, stones. I will eventually need stonemason. Let's get started on that, I think. Okay. So, the only thing we're waiting on for this particular bit of advice is to make the manor house, which is in the process. So I'll go ahead and get started with a stonemason hut near the stonecutters. And I don't have to worry about the undesirable space again, so we'll go ahead and put that right here. Well, right here next to the road. Well, let's put it right here, I think. Because that way people making it to their houses are going to be a little bit more accessible if they expand into this space. Rather than me taking up good real estate near the center with just a stonemason hut. Okay, got some more migrants. We're going to assign 1 to be a stonemason when this one's done. And I'm pretty sure the Great Hall by itself does not have anybody working in it. Unless that's where the bailiff works. But I think that might be a separate sub-building as like the bailiff house, bailiff something. So we'll get there eventually. In the meantime, I also... what else did I unlock? Oh, an edict. That's right. Which maybe I can't even do until I have a bailiff. Yeah, okay. Oh no, it's right there. Okay. To change them, to like take one down, you'd need a bailiff. Decrease the cost of mandates and time of mandates by 50%. That will be good eventually when I'm doing prospecting. But again, I don't know if that's really going to be a focus in this one. Stonework production. More stone and gold. And 3 other materials that I don't know of. But berries are decreased by quite a bit. I don't know that I want that either. Upkeep of production building parts are decreased. There's always an upkeep cost every month. I think I'm okay for now. Refund of tools and bulk trade. Trade quantity bonus from village with clergy, kingdom, and labor allegiances. But trade price bonus is less. So they have more things, but with the negative 20, I think that means that anytime that I sell them stuff, it costs less. That makes sense why it's bulk trade. I think this time we're going to go start with the careful planning again. So we refund 50% of tools that are used, since that's something that's going to be costing me quite a bit of money and resources. Hopefully that'll keep me going for longer. Okay, got a list of mandates. There's only a couple that I can do by myself, otherwise I need a bailiff or a monastic emissary or a royal courtier. I'm not going to promote anybody, and I could discuss a levy where they immediately give me coins and are unhappy for a bit. Where I don't currently have a thing that ties to their happiness level. Is it worth 69 coins to lose 30% of their happiness for now? Not necessarily in other contexts, but again, right now where I don't have anything pushing me to have a certain happiness level, let's go ahead and do it. So I immediately get those 69 coins. Nice. And then I think it said you can do it again in 7 days if you want to, which I don't think I want to, but yeah. You're unable to find a house close to your workplace. That's because you don't have a workplace that you're working at yet, but also maybe there's not enough space to make a house anymore. That's unfortunate if that's the case. Well, yeah, okay. I guess we are going to have to expand out in this direction. Yeah, okay. Got it. Okay. Improving monuments. You can edit and add on. Great. Anytime you destroy building parts, you're refunded half of the construction costs. Cool. Alrighty. They don't have anything else to teach me. Okay, so maybe that's the tutorial, in which case now I know I'll still be good if I start the next one without the tutorial, but still a good review now that I kind of know what's going on. Okay, we can improve lumber camps. I don't need to keep that advice as a little menu anymore. And edicts and privileges. I already did that. I'll just go ahead and say yes. I'll take it because then it's going to say that it's done immediately. Again, that doesn't really do anything other than just give me a fun little check mark and notification. And I live for that kind of little boost of oxytocin or whatever. Something telling me that I did a good job. You know. Okay, I expanded over here, but then I didn't actually expand. So, I've got one person who's still unemployed. I think let's go with the stone miner. We got someone here. A message from the kingdom. The kingdom acknowledges your hard work in establishing your settlement. Gain 100 coins. Thanks, kingdom. Okay, bye. Okay, now if I were to expand my workplace, Or the marketplace. Let's see. They decided to build a tax office and contribute by sharing some of their earnings. So I just need to add a tax office to my manor house. And then... Or I can build a separate manor house that's just a tax office. And assign a tax collector and increase the taxation. I'll keep that because I do seem to benefit from having some kind of checklist so I don't get distracted and start doing something that's not useful. Oh, there's also a church building. That's right. That was the other thing I saw. Okay. Before I do that, I can edit the building. I'm going to add a sub-building that is a tax office. And it's going to be a tower. Oh, there's only 2 houses over here. I guess 3 that are not currently lightly fortified. So we'll put this right here. Make it a little taller. And then throw on a little door there. We're going to change the color of the roof of this one so that everybody knows that it's taxes, though. And there's no way for me to actually be able to tell the color right now, but let's make it whatever this is. Apply all. Oh, did I not? Hold on. Okay, it's got everything that it needs. Good. I'm just checking. Yes, it's still labeled a tax office, so that's good. And I can assign a tax collector as soon as I have somebody here. But with only average happiness, we are not going to get a very large group of people coming for immigration. So that's the one thing that my happiness is kind of hinging on at the moment. Okay. We got 2 more people. Going to assign 1 to be our tax collector. And we're going to assign another to be our transporter. We're going to edit this warehouse. Oh wait, I can't do that yet. I need to buy the upgrade for it. Storage improvement. I think that's all I want for now here. Gonna edit. We're going to throw on some extra depot space. And I think we'll actually put it like that. Yeah, we'll have to expand out this way. That's fine. And before I do that, though, costs 100. We're going to buy that. Then we're actually going to move this one out here. And we're going to apply those changes. And we're going to continue this wall over here. This fence. Oh, not the end. Hold on. Let's undo you. Stone fence. Oh, no, I forgot. I just added this one. Gonna do this, and then throw a gate in the middle. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and edit this one as well to throw on some extra granary depots. Extra. And put it right across the street there. And you know what? Let's go ahead and make those merged a little bit. Okay. And let's change them to a little dark black roof just for fun. Apply those changes. And then a trader came, looked at our stock, and bought and sold anything that I currently have listed in my trading menu. Okay, there's the option to do another levy if I want, but man, happiness really took a beating because of it, so I'm going to wait. Tax collector's a little unhappy because they can't use their tax office yet. I'm going to speed that up a little. Okay. Space for more stuff here. Let's go ahead and put some polished stone. Let's go with more planks to make space for it. And other than that, I think I'll leave space for other things so I can kind of get a feel for what I have extra of and what I don't. And then we're still doing okay with berries there. Eventually there will be space for more, and currently that's my only food item, so we'll stick with that. Alright, A Prosperous Priory, Part 1. The abbess heard you were interested in dedicating your land to the clergy. She sees great potential and wants you to start immediately by founding a small monastery. She first suggests supporting your monastics by opening trade routes with your neighbors. So I need to sell herbs via trade routes over 30 days. We're going to do that so that we can get set for building the monastery. And we have our tax office. It says, a tax office now stands in the village, promising order and prosperity. Though some villagers might grumble, they know their coins are paving the way to a brighter, safer future for all. Done. Then it just tells me how to set up taxes and stuff and how it generally works. So, I'm going to come into the royal book. I'm going to slow the game down a little so I don't miss anything. I'm going to go to the taxation page. They spend up to 6 coins per serf per month, I think. And this is the very smallest amount, I think, if I turn this up. Yeah, okay. So currently I've got 25 people. I'm getting a total of 22 a month. So I'm not even getting 1 per person. But their happiness, loss is only 5%. I think we're going to bump it to 15%, which, as long as they're happy in other ways, I'm going to be getting 45 coins a month. And I think that's going to be necessary. So, especially as I keep expanding and building. I guess the issue is if I don't expand housing over to this side, I then am going to run into workspaces being over here and people unhappy that houses are so far away. So, to mitigate that, let's go ahead and paint some residential space over here. And we're going to build a monastery. Got that unlocked, and then the church architecture. Okay. We'll start with the base building. You got dorms, scriptorium, vegetable garden, We already have a Great Hall. Monastic Grange, Herb Garden, Nun Dorms. So you got monks and nuns. Chapel, Berry Garden, Refectory. Now it just says monastery in general. This is where they can eat their rustic food and monastic food. Berry Garden. It just produces berries by itself. Okay. Well, before I do that, what's this? Okay. Some of the most faithful would like to guide you through the steps of its construction. Okay. For anybody watching, I have the option to do monks and nuns, just monks, or just nuns. Any preference here? We've got the option to accept both nuns and monks, or just monks, or just nuns. It does say apparently you can add on later to change it, so if we only started with one, it wouldn't be the end. I like both. Gays, lesbians, we're doing both. Okay, so we need herb garden, monastic scriptorium, nuns, and monks. So, monk dorm. We need at least 4 people, so space. Let's go with maybe a smaller space. Rustic quarters. That holds 8. A rustic gallery holds 5. Rustic tower holds 5. Does a tower count as... It does not. As doesn't do the same as these ones. Hold on. Wood for the bishop. We could accumulate wood in storage. I don't think that I have any wood set aside, like any option to... I don't think I've set any wood specifically. I've just done planks. So we're going to accept it, just like with any deal. It doesn't matter if I don't pass it, but yeah, I've just got planks here. So we're going to go with wood. We're going to do it twice. I don't think my woodcutters are working fast enough to make that happen with the sawmill going. So in order to do that, I don't know that I've got the time to get it in the 14 days. So you know what? I'm actually just going to abandon that one. Yeah. Not going to worry about the timed nature of it for now. Okay, so back to this. I think I do not want a tower. We're just going to go with a rustic gallery. Maybe. That looks like a terrible place to live. Maybe not. Minor quarters. That doesn't look much better, but at least it's got a little angled roof. Okay. I'm going to say we're going to have our monk dorms be here. And it's going to be yellow for monks. Going to put a little door on it. What kind? A major rustic gate. That's too big. A minor rustic gate. That's fine. Or a humbled rustic gate. Or an elevated one. Even though that one says humble. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. We'll apply that. And then, as part of the same monastery, I want to edit. I would like to add a sub-building of nun dorms. We'll have an identical one with a different colored roof to mark that one. And just like that, we're going to change the roof of this one to be... What? Set default material? I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell what the color difference might be. In order to make sure they're different, we're going to go with that color and apply that. So we now have nun dorms, monk dorms. We are going to need this one says a tax office that has a manor tower minor. I think I did a major one. Yeah, okay. I'm not going to worry about it. Let's get rid of that one. Because, again, you don't get anything. So, done with taxes. Next. We're doing those. Then, we're going to need herb garden, monastic scriptorium. So, going to go to the monastery. We're going to edit the building. We're going to add on an herb garden. Okay, this has to do with worker capacity. And then storage. Don't need those. Those are house functions. We just need a resource depot and a production. Let's go with a little corner one. Oh, I see. It accessed like that. And then let's go with another little corner one. And we'll just butt it right up against the building here. Let's actually bring it a little bit closer. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Don't want to replace. Okay. And then let's add on storage for our herbs. Okay, but it is accessible from from both sides. So it can be here, but it doesn't have to be. Yeah, that's fine. I'm happy with that. Could bring it a little closer, I guess. Okay. There's our herb garden. And then next, back to the monastery, edit it. We're going to throw on a sub-building of monastic scriptorium. Now this is just making Bibles, essentially. They need a room and interior access. So bell tower, chimney, rooms. Okay. This is a room. It both holds storage and allows for people to work in it. So we're going to put it right here. Okay, it's mirrored on both sides. Don't know why colors are doing that for me. That's interesting. Rustic facade. A bell to remind them. Okay, this is a bell tower. Interesting. Don't think that we necessarily want that here, so I'm going to remove that. We'll throw on an elevated gate to the front. Well, major gate? No. Minor gate. Yeah, I feel like that fits. And we'll keep these colors as they are. We're going to... We've hit those. Is there anything else we need to do with it? Let's have a little statue. Why not? Let's mirror it, have two of them. Good enough. Okay, is there anything else that we can do with that? We could throw on a little chimney just for decoration. It doesn't do anything as far as any real change to how the game functions, but it would look nice. So in order to place that, we'll put it here and pop it out the top like that. Oh boy, that does not look very good. Here, I guess. In the center? I don't know that I like that either. But do I want it poking out the back? No. I guess technically I don't have to connect it to any of the dots, so we'll do that. Yeah, I suppose that looks good. I'm gonna apply those changes. Okay, we've got monk dorms. As soon as I have I guess a male villager available, I can assign them here. But currently everybody's doing stuff elsewhere. And I think my one unemployed person would have to be a nun. Okay. So, let's see. How are we doing? Happiness is not very good. Why is it so bad? What's your problem? Oh, people are still upset about the levy mandate, and then they've just got their regular tax complaints. That's fine. I guess in order to boost their happiness, I could work on refined food and service. So maybe I need to make a church of some kind. Let's have the church roughly accessible to everybody. Maybe, well, this area would be a nice spot for marketplace, so maybe not. Maybe we'll put it behind the tax office since it doesn't look like anybody's building houses there with the space necessary. So let's go with, is it just called church? Rustic church? Yeah. Okay. Now I will have a maximum of 75 people here. So as long as I can make a church that can hold 75 people, I will never have to edit or resize it. However, if I have to keep expanding off in that direction, having it over here is not great to have everybody. So maybe we expand it to like 35-ish. There's 36. I've currently got 26 people living here. I think we might have to make multiple smaller churches this time if we want it to be more accessible for everybody. So let's go with the 24 is actually great for that. Because if I just make like 3 of them, roughly, that should be enough. So we'll put a little thatched gate here on the end, and then give it a bell tower. Let's have it, the bell, a little bit closer to the center of town. Just because that makes sense to me. Nope. Okay. Done. Make it slightly shorter. And I think that's all I'm going to worry about for now. Put a little graves, a couple graves in the back. Done. Okay. Improving trades with Northbury. Many folks are looking to settle in Norbury, yet the village struggles to feed the extra workforce and asks if you could send them the much-needed bread. I don't have bread. But it does say eventually you could do that. I will wait until later. What am I doing with my trading right now? Resources. Selling planks, anything above 10. And then I'm selling, or buying tools up to 35. I'm also doing pretty decent in berries, so I'm actually going to... Oh wait, forgot Northbury does not buy berries. I say I forgot like I even checked all of the things they do. They can sell berries to me. In order to sell berries to someone else, I would need to unlock a trade route with Kinstone Abbey, which takes 15 labor influence? Nope, 15 clergy influence. So we've still got a ways for that. And I don't really have an excess of anything else yet, so can't sell a lot. Okay. Now here we've got our monk dorms and our nun dorms. We could devote a female villager to the monastery and a male villager to the monastery. We've got it. An aura of serenity settles in as your first villagers recite their religious vow and convert to a life of ascetic piety. Your people have been blessed with a monastery. May it bring faith and wealth. Yay! Okay, so there's a happiness bonus. Now back to looking at the overall goals. Wait a minute, that looks different than it was. Okay, so my overall... Oh no, it's right here. Keep the villager population below 75. But I can have monastics, specifically people who are devoted as monks and nuns, at 150 by the end. So I can keep getting more people. I just have to devote a good chunk of them to be monks and nuns. Only 75 can be otherwise. Wow, that's a lot of horses. What's up? I guess only one of them stayed. The bishop appreciates seeing a new settlement dedicate itself to the monastic faith. He wants to help you, his new vassal, and appointed his steward to ensure you have everything you need. What do you plan next? I could build a magnificent monastery and he'd give me some basic materials. I want to be an influential among the clergy. He'll give me 20 clergy splendor. Or I want to earn wealth through trade, and then he'll just give me money. I think I'm doing okay when it comes to materials. I think we're going to go with the clergy splendor. Bishop wishes for your monastery to prosper. Okay, so that then should help me in trade routes. This one costs 15. And then I can start selling my excess berries. Food diversity. Your villagers are very grateful for the food you provided, yet they wish their larder had more to offer. They would greatly appreciate if you gave them a second source. So we need at least a refined food. And that will help keep their happiness high even when I do tax them. So, quickest option is going to be hunters, which I don't think I ever unlocked because I wasn't sure I would need to. We need 50 coins to unlock a butchering option. Doesn't help that everything I build costs resources. But we're going to devote another person to be a nun. Nice, they put on little matching fits to their work. Alright. And what's great is this does count as housing, so I don't have to worry about nearly as many individual houses, but that could eventually be a concern. Okay, I've got 20 coins, that takes 50. Speed that up to build some of these buildings. Okay. As soon as that's done, I'm thinking maybe... Okay, good. We're starting on herbs already, which is part of this goal. And then I also am going to need to have 4 monastics to complete this one as soon as the scriptorium is done. I've only got 3 monastics, 1 monk, 2 nuns. As soon as I get more immigrants, maybe I can add some more that way. So it's not like it really matters urgently to get hunting done anyway, because I don't even have the people available for it. So we'll just wait until our taxes bring us in a little bit more income. Trading herbs. Your monastics have harvested their first herbs. It's essential to sell these precious resources through trade routes to ensure the profitability of your monastery. As your monastery expands, you'll access even more valuable resources to trade. Yeah, okay. Allow sale of herbs. Sell at least 10 over 30 days. And this one's at least 50 over 30 days. A monastic grange. Okay, so is the grange just a storage space? I don't know. Let's find out. Okay, more person here. Let's go ahead and get another monk. Yeah, that's an herb garden. Okay. Edit. Monastic grange. Used for storing and trading monastic types of resources. Great. There we go. Yeah, okay. And let's say it's gonna be this color. We're going to apply. Man, they're really having to deal with those planks and stuff. The church is mostly done, but we need a bell tower, and then we'll need to assign a priest to it. Okay, let's speed that up a little bit. If we go into our royal book, I'm going to say herbs. We're going to sell everything above the value of 15, because I don't know what I will need them for. So, we'll start with that. I think, let's prioritize the scriptorium. Since I'm going to have to wait for somebody to work here, it's not like it needs to be prioritized too hard. And then here. Once that's done, this entire goal will be done. And here we just got berries. I guess we could also put herbs here. Don't think we'll need to with our grange up there. A providential trade route. The abbess is glad you have established a trade route with Kinstone Abbey. She believes monasteries on both sides would benefit from trading with each other and would like to know if you need anything. Oh, this is great. I'm loving just getting free stuff. So we get some coins straight up. we could get some better trade prices, where we just get an extra 10% on our trade costs, I think permanently. Or we could get some materials to work with. I think... I don't want to turn it down. Coins are good. Trade would be good long term, so I'd probably do trade over coins. But I think I want the materials to build some of these buildings. Because that will help me finish off these ones. And then, hopefully, as I continue expanding, happiness is better so that we get a higher level of immigration. Gonna slow things down. I'm going to go back to our book and look at buildings. We're missing a priest. The Grange is under construction, but it will be worked at by somebody who is a member of the monastery. We could do another transporter or another builder. I think we're going to go with the priest. But I need to actually claim him first. Okay? We'll have a priest. Okay, now we can speed it up a little more. Let's have cloth off over here as well. Just because we got our temporary storage that came from that one-time trade. So I'll have him put it over there so it's out of the way. And also that makes it so we could buy and sell if we need, because it's actually in a warehouse. Great, so our scriptorium, even though it's not done, it's done enough to be able to work at. So people are producing resources. Oh, interesting. Okay. So going back to the book real quick. It says never promote a villager, but these guys are not villagers. These are monastics, which means they can be promoted. This job is best suited to brother and sister. Currently, they're both considered novices. And that costs the books. But I will have to make sure that I can maintain their needs or else they'll be unhappy. Interesting. So, a similar setup, but approaching it from a different angle. And I like that. I think that's fun. I think that allows for a lot of different, like, replayability. Offering bread for your herbs and berries. With all his grace and mercy, the bishop wants to ensure all regional monasteries are well fed. He delegated a steward to ship you bread in exchange for herbs and berries harvested from your monastic lands. Our bishop is generous indeed. I could accept that. I will sell 10 berries and 5 herbs, which I currently have both of. I just need to have the herbs in storage first. Then I can make that within the next month. I'll get 10 bread and 10 clergy influence. I could try to haggle, but I do not have a good... essentially, I don't have a good enough standing with them to guarantee a good deal. There's 88% chance that it's going to get worse. So we're just going to accept it as is. I'm going to prioritize this Grange. So hopefully that gets built relatively quickly. It's got its materials. It's just being built. Then I can assign the herbs there. I could put them over here at this granary, but it does seem like at least one of these wants it specifically to be assigned to the Grange. I wonder if it just maybe affects where the profit goes, if it's to the village or to the monastery. So, okay, we've got our Grange. We're going to assign herbs. We're going to do 2 piles of herbs. Because I imagine I'm soon going to need to put other stuff, like manuscripts. Let's actually put 1 set of manuscripts there, because this building can only hold 80. So if we ever exceed that, I'd like a place for it to go. Now you'll see, we did have 2 of these first, but then as I built other buildings, like this one, they assigned our existing 4 monastics, like, evenly among these jobs, so. Alright, we've got herbs here. Now I can set them for trading. First, I'm gonna go ahead and accept this deal. Your goods were exchanged to the bishop for a shipment of bread. So we now have our 10 bread in our temporary storage. I mean, it can't hurt to leave it there, but... you know what? Let's just leave it there. That's fine. I'm not going to be buying or selling more for now. Well, I might eventually, and I've got the space for it, so we'll put bread in there. Now the church is done. Words of your village's first church have reached the clergy. They appreciate your dedication to the faith and thus hold you in a higher regard. I'll get 5 more clergy influence. Now I got another person. As far as places they could be assigned, I could make them a monk or nun. I could make them a builder. I think we seem to be doing okay as far as builder goes. Looks like it's another nun. We are now a hermitage, I think is how that's pronounced. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and update that right here. Oh good, it did it automatically. And those are still my options. Great. Alrighty. In general, I feel like we're doing pretty good. How am I going to raise happiness overall? Refined food and church service. Now this looks like it's going to handle a decent amount of people here, which should increase their happiness quite a bit. And so we just need refined food, essentially, for most people. Maybe everybody. I know that some people have varied options, but maybe that's only when you get to higher levels. Or maybe they don't. Maybe I just made that up because I misunderstood something early on. This person's a novice. For their additional needs, they just need monastic food, but I don't currently have anything to meet that. But they need to go to church as well as part of their basic needs. So maybe I eventually want to have a church over in this area so that this side of town doesn't have to walk over there. Over there. Just for fun, let's pitch it up higher. No. Let's do a low pitch. Yeah, let's go with the C. Okay. Okay. I have no money. Before I set the herbs to be traded immediately, I'm going to wait until I have a certain amount built up because this has to do with selling at least 50 within 30 days. And I think traders will come every week. And then I'm pretty sure that there's a limit to how much they'll hold or trade at once. Kinstone Abbey is the one that wants herbs. They only hold 25 or can buy 25 at once. So I would like to have close to, if not entirely, the 50 that I'm going to need to gain that. Just because if I start having a low amount, I don't think that it's going to be easy to reach that goal of 50. I could do it immediately and get the 10 of this one, but I might as well knock them both out at once. Okay, great. Immigration has moved to high because our average happiness has reached a level of average. So, we should be getting more people at once, which is nice. So we do have a total of 26 serfs right now who cannot be promoted. So that's a good thing to keep an eye on, because I can only have 75 of them in total. The work your folk put into the church is paying off. A renowned priest from Northbury heard of your newly founded monument and would like to perform masses in your village. Being fair to such people would definitely improve your standing amongst the clergy. I could just pay them 50 coins, which I don't have. So, I can give them berries. If I give them 25 berries, they will give me 10 labor influence. Not labor influence, clergy influence. So I have already got that. We're going to go ahead and do that. And now we've got more clergy influence. The more of that I have, first of all, in progression, I think, if I go clergy research over here, they cost everything past this tier. Moving on into this one, everything's going to start costing labor, not labor. I do that because the entire last one we did was in the labor tier. Labor tree. Clergy influence is what you pay to unlock technology in this area, but also that's what's measured when you're haggling for better deals. If it's a deal with nearby abbeys and church settlements, then if you have a high clergy influence, you can have a really good chance to haggle for a better deal with them. Nine coins, huh? Well, I guess nobody ever said that monasteries were particularly profitable. At least if you're going by the stereotype of like a bunch of dedicated people off into like out of society almost, that are just kind of doing their best to provide for themselves and others. I mean, it's like a non-profit, right? But I guess not every organization does stuff like that. Okay, that's all the cloth. I wasn't sure what that looked like from zoomed out. What is that? Just like clanging bell noises. Is that just the warehouse? It might be. Or I'm hearing something else from a distance that I can't tell. Who knows? Okay. You're just visiting. Nice. Okay, there's a couple more people. As far as buildings go, we're missing a builder, a transporter, and then monks and stuff. Well, let's go ahead. We got 3 nuns. Let's get 3 monks, so we've got an even spread. And then I don't think we need a transporter there, because it's not like we're getting a lot of resources, like food resources that are necessary to put in. And we don't necessarily need a builder either. Well, just in case we start expanding, that'll be nice to have on hand. Now, as far as housing goes... Okay. We still have space here for somebody else. But we might need to start expanding housing if we keep adding on more serfs. Just need patrols. Is that something I have unlocked yet? Let me check. Progression. Was that something to unlock? Tavern. Architecture. Well, that's just for looking nice. Tavern. Inn. Treasury bailiff. Village fortifications. That's the watch post. Okay. So we'll need labor influence for that one. And we'll need to unlock... Oh wait, the manor house is already unlocked. That's right. But to get to this level in the first place, I'm going to need 25 labor splendor. At which point I can spend 5 labor influence. Right now I have no labor splendor because I have not made any of these buildings anything more than just their base functionality. Okay. While the neighboring priest was walking around the village, you overheard him talking about a devout merchant from Northbury who offers lower prices to faithful individuals like you and your folks. Building a good relationship with the clergy could help you avail of those lower prices. So you could just spend 50 coins for it. Or you can spend 5 clergy influence to get that trade bonus with other villages with labor allegiance. So we'll spend our influence that way. And then, how are things going? We've only got 13 herbs on hand. Because they work so slowly, because they are only working at half productivity as novices. And I only have 2 of the 4 slots filled. So I think for the next wave or 2 of immigration, I'm just going to throw them in the monastery so that they can increase the speed of that. I don't even have a manuscript done yet because it's taking so long. Okay, more trading coming on. Welcome in, Luke Leshy. Is that? Yeah, okay. Hello. I mean, I don't know that I've got a British accent going, but thanks. But yeah, I do like the game. It's pretty cozy. $16 herbs. Okay, we got some more people coming that I can throw into our monastery. Okay. Claim all 3 of you here. Okay. Alright, I do not have much more space for more people. I'll just have space for 1 more monk. Fair enough. Hey, I hope you enjoy it when you play tomorrow. Get some good rest, and hopefully you can join me in the future too. I play every Monday, so just about now. Okay, that's going well out here. I could eventually expand woodcutting. I think that's going to be useful. Although, currently I'm doing okay on those resources since I'm not building a ton of buildings right now. So, maybe eventually I'll need to, but I think hunting's definitely the priority. So, from there, if I were to do some hunting, unfortunately, I cannot yet see where there are boars located. But that is the end of... Oh, wait. I have this territory already. That's right. I bought both of these. So somewhere out here in the forest, there's going to be plenty of boars. Even out here in this space, there's probably plenty. I'll just need a hunter's hut. Maybe I'll just build one like here-ish, and then they can hunt on either side. We'll see what's actually available at that point. Oh yeah, I don't have alerts on at the moment, but thank you for the follow. I really appreciate it. I think I'm still trying to figure out how many different alerts I'd like to have, like, make noises, because I think the default option was to, like, have everything make little alert noises, and I think it was way too much, including, like, each individual chat that came through. So, I'm gonna have to play around with that and customize it a little bit more. But thank you so much, I really appreciate it. I hope you get some good rest. Right. Speed up the game a little bit here. We're about to get our first manuscript. I say about, I think it's still a ways out, but... Oh yeah, no, all sorts. Alright, have a good one. Feel like every stream I'm like, well, yeah, okay, there's something else that I gotta change or something else I got to adjust. And because I'm focusing on the game, I feel like it's a toss-up as to whether I remember to actually make those changes by the next stream or not. But, you know, we're making it work. Okay. Great. More people. Only one can be a monk. And then I either need to expand these or get people assigned to something else. Alright, monk. Okay, what else do I have that I could build that I don't have to pay for researching because it costs money I don't have? Rustic church. You know what I never actually ended up doing? I unlocked the trade, didn't I? They'll buy berries from me. I just never did it. Okay. We're going to sell everything above the value of, let's say 100 for now. Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay, have a good one. I could do another gathering hut and just get more berries. But I think there is a berry collecting option in the monastery. So I think I want to eventually shift that workload to them. Because since I can only limit my population to 75 villager types, I don't want to have duplicate jobs. Builders, village market. I could expand my market, but I don't have anything to really sell there for refined food because I need boars to make meat so that I can do that. I could go with another church. That actually might be a good use of my time and space right now. Okay. Gonna go with a major. Put it right here. It'll hold 24 people each week. And I think let's go right here. And we'll put a little thatched gate on this side. And then a bell tower. What kind did I go with over there? I think I went with the rustic minor tower. We could go with a steeple. Yeah, I think that's different. Cool. But we'll also point that towards the center of town. Let's go with this color roof. Why not? And then we'll give this one a little bit of zhuzh as well. Little graves. Well, we'll do it back here, I think. Yeah, I have no idea what that sound is. It must be coming from the monastery, but let's alternate them a little bit. Oh, can you put a cross on the building? Oh, neat. Sure. Just a little floating cross that's not done yet. And we'll assign the serf that we just got to be a village priest. And they are now living here. Okay, so if I get any more serfs, I need housing for them. If I get any more monastics, I'm going to need housing for them. So we're going to have to expand these monk dorms or just create other monk dorms. Can I just make it taller? That will only add 2 if I do so. Doesn't cost a ton of resources, but I don't know if it's worth that. What if instead I just take more quarters and connect them to the back? That looks a little goofy. Let's instead hook it off to the side like that, and they'll still be able to use the same door. Yeah, that was the roof type. We'll go ahead and apply that. And now I'll be able to fit 5 more in there. Now this one I can't mirror it, but that's okay. We will instead edit the none one. We'll throw on more rustic quarters here on the back. And then match the roof type. Let's go ahead and... Those are the only decor type things I have. I guess I could do a rustic gate. It doesn't count as a door. Oh, it does. Never mind. It's not worth the resource, I don't think. That one counts as 2 and counts as a bell tower. It costs quite a few resources for the benefit of the what's it called? Splendor. So let's go with something cheaper. We've already got 2 statues there. Let's go ahead and throw one over here maybe. Let's have one out here by the back of the herb garden. Why not? Okay. Okay. I finally have a manuscript. Too bad it only costs 5 of them to promote one of these people. So I either need to expand this to have more workers in order to make that a quicker process, or I need to promote them so that they work faster, but I can only promote them by having more, so I think expanding it's going to be the way to go eventually. Great, we're getting 4 more people. Luckily, even though that's not built yet, I can assign people to live there. So I think that's where all 4 of them are going to go. Okay. We've got 8 monks and 6 nuns. I just realized I don't know that I've got space for all of them to work on stuff. Because I've got 14, and I only have 3 different buildings that house 4 workers each. So, I'm missing 4? Is that how it works? No, 2. Because I have 8 and 6, not 8 and 8, which is what my head was trying to wrap around. Okay, wait, did I say that I was selling herbs? Oops. I guess I thought I was not. Herbs. Oh yeah, I guess I already started by saying I'd sell above 15. I'm going to take that off for now, just so I can meet this goal of 50 over the course of 30 days. Because I'm not making them nearly fast enough, or harvesting them nearly fast enough to reach that goal of 50. Okay, I now have the coins though. I can go into progression, I can unlock butchering. Now from there, we're going to get our hunter's hut. And we'll put it out here in the wild. I think we decided... Well, okay, it's telling me now. Okay, none of this is counting as boar. Like, hunting doesn't go out there. So we'll have to put it more over in this direction. Which means we'll have to expand housing a little bit more because hunters cannot be monks. Okay, but my border's right here, so... anything within this area... we're going to go ahead and try to keep this somewhat centered for that area. Let's put it right here. And then we'll paint some more residential space. And then while we're building the hunter hut, we're also going to build a butchery, which is right somewhere. Butcher. There we go. Okay. Hunter's hut's right there. We'll put the butchery near it. Yeah. And as far as making it look nice, I'm going to face the hut in that direction. And also the kind of the pathway there. Okay, what do we got here? Progressing with the estates. Your village has caught the interest of the estates of the realm. They anticipate splendid monuments, which will undoubtedly define the future of your people. We're going to acquire tier 2 decorative and make our monastery look really nice. Sure, that's a good goal to work towards other than just waiting for herbs. Okay. Let's speed up time a little bit. And then, over here in my granary, I'm going to start assigning meat. Because that's going to be something I need to provide as far as advanced food, refined food. Profiting from taxation. It seems your treasury has been low on coins. Some of the villagers suggest temporarily increasing taxes until the treasury improves. Sure. So we'll come back into the Royal Book. We'll go to taxation. Temporarily, we'll bump it up to 104 per month with a 25% happiness decrease. And I can't assign anybody to either of these buildings till they're built. Yeah, okay. Some you can, some you can't, and I don't really know what the deciding factor of that is. But we'll speed up time. As soon as possible, I'll get hunters assigned because that's needed more urgently than the butcher. And actually, we'll prioritize that building as well. Okay, speed up a little more. I think I can have 2 hunters per hunter hut. So I'll have 2, and then the third person can be a butcher once it's done. Come on. I know it's kind of a longer path out there, but... Perfect. 2 hunters. Just 1? 2 hunters. Why won't it allow me to assign any others? Did some of those already get assigned here and they count as being unemployed because they're just living here? That's probably what it is. So I misjudged that, but that's okay. We're going to paint a hunting space. You can hunt anywhere here that there's boars. And in fact, there's all that for you. Now, as far as I understand it, I'm pretty sure each one of these images shows a single boar that when it's killed, it goes away, but can be essentially restocked. Not quite that language, but if they disappear, it's not like you can't hunt here ever again. It's just after a certain amount of time is when they will come back. So there's that one done. So now we have 1 in stock, and they're going out to hunt another one. And I think we're going to have to expand our monastery in some way. So let's go ahead and see what else we can add. We could have a larger herb garden or expand the one that we've currently got, which I think might be good for this particular thing. Well, I guess this also says we can do tier 2 decoration if we can afford it. Let's go to progression. Tier 2 decorative. It's there and not here, right? Tier 2 privilege. Yeah, I think that's it. Before I do that, though, I do want to double check. Tier 2 decorative in the progression menu. Progression, tier 2 decorative. Great. Oh, but it costs 50. I thought it was 25. Okay, well, that's going to be a minute anyway. Let's go ahead and see what else we got. We could do vegetables, which is not something that's currently being asked for, but might be nice. Berry garden. I think that's going to be a good long-term investment of my monastic resources. So, oh great, and they just have planters, so I don't have to worry about having berry bushes around. Each one of these adds 2 to total capacity. Round, square, or rope trellis? Okay. Rope trellis looks like that. Round looks like that. And square looks like that. Let's go with some square ones. 2 worker capacity to each one. Oh, that's the wrong kind. Maybe eventually we'll expand into different shapes, but I like how mirrored that looks. And I think that gets rid of the bushes as soon as I do that. And let's go ahead and have a berry hut to store extra berries. And then let's go ahead and give us a rustic cross over here. And we're going to apply those changes. Because currently I've got 2 monastic people who don't have a job, so that's going to give them something to do. Speed that up a little bit. As soon as I get my next immigrants, one's going to be a hunter, the other is going to be a butcher. And then I should get higher levels of immigration as soon as I have all of my monks doing something. Okay, here's a butcher. And here is a hunter. Now slowing back down. Happiness. I'm getting no notifications that people don't have housing, so that's good news so far. The happiest people are at 80%. The least happy are at 55%. Gonna speed this up again. Alright, and for anybody watching, we're probably gonna go for probably another 20 minutes and we'll call it there. So, just as a heads up, so you're not surprised when it happens. They have 2 different tones. Yeah, that's fine. A little major third going on. We now have 2 manuscripts. Coming up on 3. Look at us go. It seems all of these jobs are best suited to brothers and sisters, not just novices. Where at the very least, you're like basic jobs like your gathering hut for serfs. They don't need any promotion to be working at 100% productivity. So I think I won't be able to get rid of that for a while. But eventually I think it will be nice to fully eliminate that job from my regular villagers and only have it be done by my monastics. However, I will need to promote them, and that's going to take manuscripts. But I think the best option for my monastery to expand is to promote these guys first, so that they can make manuscripts faster to promote everybody else. I guess the problem is, I don't know when they're going to be reassigned to other jobs to evenly spread out, so as much as I try to plan on that, I don't know that I will necessarily be able to. Okay, so I've got 2 people unemployed. They're both... Oh, one's going to be a butcher. Okay, we've got 15 meat, which is decent, But if everybody's going to want refined food, I guess not every single person, but if most people are, then we are going to need a lot more than just that on hand. But I guess it can't hurt to start selling it to give ourselves a happiness boost. So we're going to go back to our existing market, going to expand it with a food stall. We'll put it over here. And for refined food, we're going to go with a red tent. We'll see if I stick with that throughout the entire playthrough or not, but and we'll put a little food stall sign right next to it. And we'll put another food stall sign next to the berries, just for fun. Just because that adds a little bit of zhuzh, a little bit of splendor for us. Yeah, I like it. It's fun. Nice and chill. Welcome in, by the way, Marshmallow26. Yeah, welcome to you. Okay, as soon as this is done, we can assign somebody to sell meat. I'm doing pretty good. How about you? Just about to wrap up the stream and just building my little village here. Good. Glad to hear it. So are you familiar with this game, or are you just, like, getting your introduction to it now? Good. Glad to hear it. Thanks. Appreciate it. Oh, perfect. Thank you so much for the follow. I don't currently have any sort of alert set up, so sorry if that's something you were looking forward to, but working on it. Okay, let's speed that up a little bit so that we can assign that person. All right, done. Sure, I'd love to. I've got some socials that you can send them to. And just as a heads up, I don't have the ability to, like, give any sort of work or anything. I've already got an artist and a musician who kind of helps me with some of my information there. But yeah, feel free to check me out if you want to DM me anything just so that I can look and admire. I don't really have an ability to, like, offer you any sort of work that way, so sorry about that, but that is currently the way things work for my stream. Got everything that I need for now. Okay, so all of these guys need monastic food as additional food, and that is edible in the refectory, which I don't have yet. So, back to the monastery. If we edit that and we add a sub-building, refectory, they can eat rustic food and monastic food. Each of these will hold a single refectorian. So let's go with the smallest option. Right here. And then we'll just give them a little door. Well, let's go with a blue roof here too. And we'll apply that. Okay, we've restored a high level of immigration, which is great. Now we have somebody who does not have a job. As far as my buildings go, could add a transporter or a refectorian in the monastery. Let's go ahead and assign the transporter. I probably shouldn't have done that. I don't know if there's housing available for them, but that's fine. It can't hurt to have. And then I guess I'll get a notification if that person doesn't have a house near their workplace. If I were to go with a village fortification, that's where I can start getting the patrols, which will make my houses more dense housing. That takes 5 labor influence, and I need to have 25 labor splendor. So I've got the 5 labor influence, but I've got 5 splendor, but no influence. I need 25 splendor to get to that tier, and then I need to spend labor influence at that point. These people are visiting elders. Cool. Okay. As far as happiness, no notification about no house, so that's good so far. I think you were the last person added. You don't currently have a house that you've been to, but that doesn't mean you don't have a house at all. We'll find out. If I want more labor influence, I'm going to need deals with people. Okay, we've met the elders. They are much respected among the region's laborers, heard of my village and wished to make themselves useful to my people. They brought welcoming gifts, mainly tools, to ease your villagers' lot, then pledged their assistance. So I get 10 tools. Pledge your assistance how? They're just hanging out, available to do stuff? Cool. I don't know what you could be helping with, but nice. Because we increased taxation, we got that thing done. So I still need to wait till I have 50 coins in order to get decorative stuff. I need more splendor on both my labor stuff and my clergy stuff. So let's make our tax office look a little nicer. Let's give them a little shed. No, let's go with a stable fence because it gives me more labor stuff. Just like that, why not? And then give them a little roofed stable that also gives me a good amount of this stuff, splendor. And then these can connect, I think. Oh, didn't mean to do that. That's fine. Throw on the stable again. And then can I turn the whole thing? Yeah. Let's instead put it right here. Still accessible, even though, again, it's purely decorative. Okay, done. And then over here on my manor house, my great hall, let's edit that and throw on some decor. Little weather vane on top. And let's give you a little stable as well, just because it gives me a good amount of splendor. Done. And then let's decorate. Oh, cool. They created a little pathway through the headstones. That's exactly what I wanted. I guess if I want to, I can create a little You know, I think I do want to. We're going to make a fence. If I can actually put my fingers on the keys. And let's give them a wattle fence gate. I don't necessarily know how that's going to look, but... Wait, not a gate. Let's do a wattle fence here. Okay, yeah. We're going to put it like this across the way. So there's going to be no gate there, and that pathway should disappear here. And then we'll connect that there. Out in this direction. And I think we're going to do the same just over here. I don't love the look of that. I think if it's walled off on that side, that should be good enough. We're going to build. But, as far as this one goes, let's add a little bit more decorative stuff maybe on this side. It's not like I have a lot of options as far as decor at the moment. Let's go with a statue on this side as well, because it gives me the highest increase of splendor. Okay, we've got a refectorian. Oh, but I never assigned stuff. Berries is what people are going to eat here. Okay, how's happiness? Cool. Nobody's angry about being homeless, so that's a good sign. Gonna speed things up a little bit. We now have 10 labor splendor. We have 16 clergy splendor. We're gonna need 25 for splendor for this thing, and then 25 of labor splendor for patrols. Village fortifications. Well, hold on. Yeah, okay. Labor splendor, that's the tier thing here. That would get us to that point. Okay. Okay, I got 4 people showing up. I don't have new buildings to put them in other than what's here, so we'll just assign them all right there. We have 9 monks and 9 nuns. And then that should hopefully give us more accessible berries here for people to come and eat, since it's not like they produce them very fast at all. Okay, we got something else. Promoting villagers. The serfs believe they are due for a promotion. I can't promote them for this scenario, so I'm just going to go ahead and skip it. Because according to the book, I can never promote villagers, which are the ones that are serfs. I've got 34 of them. I can not exceed 75. So they will need to be turned into monks before we hit that. Okay, what else? What else? Oh boy, I'm already running out of space again. There's only space for 1 more of each, so... Nice. I guess I accidentally added the statue on as part of the dorm here. It's grouped with them, but it still gives me the same bonus, so that's fine. Alright, here we've got about 4 or 5 minutes, and then we're going to call it. I'm just going to really quick set these buildings to expand for a little bit more housing space. Let's go ahead and throw on a rustic hut that looks a little bit different. And we'll throw it in the middle. both for the sake of saving space and also to add a little bit of variety in how it looks. We're going to match the roofs, though. And they still have access to a door. That's going to add on 6 more. Let's actually jump it to the height of 7. Okay. So that's being worked on, and I think we're going to sort of mirror that on the monk dorm side. Edit that. It was a rustic hut, I believe. Yeah, let's do it like that. And then make sure that it hits the 7 threshold. And then it's going to match roofs like that. Apply. Okay, now I've got space for 7 more of each of those. So as I get more immigrants, I'll throw them into those. I've got 4 manuscripts on me. Man, they work so slow as compared to these regular berry pickers over here. I don't know that I'll ever be able to fully undo this job. Of course, now you can't see it moving, but it was moving. Yeah, just like that. They work a lot faster. Now, to be fair... Oh, okay. I guess you can't really trust the thing because all of them are working independently. So this is one person's progress bar. It's still not very fast. But I think the same thing was true of this one. Where somebody just finished theirs, but now somebody else is halfway done. So maybe it's not that slow, but this is at half speed of what they could be working at because they haven't been promoted yet. Okay, we're doing decent on our meat production, which I think is really helping with our happiness. Is there anything that people are missing in general? They want monastic food served in the refectory. But these guys have church, they've got refined food, so I think we're doing alright. Cool. I think that's as good a place to stop as any. We've got a decently sized space, but hopefully we'll be able to keep it contained to this area pretty closely. And yeah, alright. We're gonna stop it right there. So, thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you all have a lovely evening, afternoon, night, depending on what time it is in your area. And yeah, we'll come back on Wednesday. Yeah, I'll go ahead and raid you out. When I come back Wednesday, I'm going to be playing Portal, and then Friday is when I'm going to be playing some more, what's it called? Peak with Doxybot. Okay, let's see here. Going about a raid. Tenorade. Is that like Gatorade? I'm going to search. I'm going to see if there's anybody else playing this game. There's a couple. Well, looks like there's maybe only 1 or 2. And one of them, I think, is in French. Yeah. So, I'll go ahead and send you over to this person here. And this is Dos Caballos. It says it's in English, so we'll go ahead and see how we do there. Yeah. All right, thanks.
physical cloth